253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Wow, what a night last night it was. I mean, it's a good thing they have channel changers now, is the best thing I can say to you. On this beautiful Friday morning, October the 8th, Penny Hardaway is going to join us in about 8 minutes. Last night, I'm going crazy. I'm going between men's national team in a World Cup quali against Jamaica. I'm watching the Seahawks and the Rams. I'm watching Houston and Tulane, and I'm watching that game closely. It looked like Houston was going to run away. Tulane comes back and takes the lead. Of course, they couldn't hold on. And Houston was a winner there. I'm watching Arkansas State and Coastal Carolina. That game was sort of over early. Boy, Arkansas State has won only one game this year. They lost to Tulsa, by the way, just like they lost to Memphis. And that was a one-touchdown game. They're like snake bit. They are, hate to say this, but they're the best one-win team maybe in America. And the baseball game was going on. Actually, I watched both games. They were both awful baseball games because both the winning teams, the Houston Astros, the cheaters, knocking off my White Sox, and they dominated 6-1, and then it was a shutout for Boston. So both, or for Tampa over Boston. So both of the American League LDS opening games were pretty boring because the home teams were really dominating for sure. So, but it was kind of fun going back and forth. Oh, wait, I forgot one other game. The Grizzlies. The Grizzlies were playing Charlotte, and this in my mind was really cool. In the first half, they already established a 30-point lead. It's 30 points at the break. And they're playing fast. They're playing space and pace. They're not turning the ball over. They did not look like a team that was playing the second game. They played their starters a lot of minutes in this game too, by the way. At the half, every single starter had 11 points. The starters had 55 of the 70-something that they had in the first half. And I will tell you, the way this is looking, the way he seems to fit in, this is going to be a great year for Steven Adams. Now, this is crazy to say 2 games into a preseason, but you can just see the way guys mesh. I mean, I think, and he had another double-double. I think he had a double-double in the first half. It was already done in the first half. Steven Adams is every bit the rebounder we know and finisher once he gets a rebound, if it's an offensive rebound, as Valanciunas was. He was blocking shots. He throws his body around. I think his teammates really like him. I think it's a heck of a fit so far, 2 games into a preseason. But what else did happen last night? Okay, Triple J, how about this? He looks better as a rebounder. He had 7 rebounds last night. I think he's really trying to rebound. He also had 4 blocks. And Adams and him inside, that's pretty good rim protection. I'll give you that. John Morant, well, he's John Morant. 16 points, 8 assists. He does that like it's a walk in the park, like nothing was going on. Then there's Melton. He has hit 7 of 11 threes in the first 2 games. And Bane had 19. So you look at what Melton and Bane have done, and if you're Dylan Brooks and you're on the bench, you better start getting healthy, kid, because these 2 guys want your job, and they're capable of doing it. That was kind of fun. So we got a busy show. We got Penny coming your way in about 4.5 minutes. We've got Glenn Rogers Jr. on high school football, and then Andy Schiffman. More on the NBA coming. He'll come your way at about 10:45 or so. Before we do that, We used to have Craig Roberts on this airways in one of the shows. Forever Bruce Marshall, and now Bruce is going to stay on with Stats and Gabe. So I decided I'm just going to look around, and Jay Morgan and I are going to give you the locks that we have for this coming weekend. So let's alternate here. My first lock, Jay Morgan, I feel good about this. BYU, I think they've got to impress every time they're out because they want to be either in the playoff mix or they want to be the independent group of five that would be in the New Year's Day Six, and they're undefeated just like Cincinnati. They're playing Boise, so this is one of their teams. Now, they've had a couple of wins against Pac-12 teams, so their resume is somewhat close to what Cincinnati's is, and they have to show up big against Boise. They're only giving away 5.5 at home in the altitude outside Salt Lake City. I like BYU in this game easy over 5, and I think they win this thing by 14 points.
I looked at that one, but I decided not to go with it. That's a good thing, I guess. Tonight, I'm going to start with tonight, Friday Night Football. FIU plus 3.5 at home against Charlotte. One of my rules of betting, I love in college football a home dog on a weekday. Charlotte coming off a big win against Illinois, maybe a little overrated because they were considered to be terrible last week. So I like FIU plus 3.5 at home.
Okay, that's good. My next two are NFL games. The Bills are getting 2.5 points against Kansas City. Now it's in Kansas City. The Bills are for real. Bills' defense is good, so it should slow down Kansas City a little bit. And Josh Allen is going to put a bunch of points on what could be the worst defense in the NFL in Kansas City. This is a game that could end up meaning home field advantage down the road. I love the Kansas City Chiefs normally. I kind of root for them because I like the way their offense plays. I'm a big Andy Reid guy. But I will tell you, at this moment right now, I like the Bills in this game because I think it's a statement game for them.
I like that too. I was wavering back and forth on that one. I'm also going to go to the NFL. I'm going to go to the morning game. I'm going to go across the pond for a different kind of footy on the telly. Jets plus 2.5 against the Falcons. I just got a feeling. I don't have any real analysis here. I just got a feeling. I love the Jets plus 2.5. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid after Robert Saleh's first win, so I'm going to go Jets plus 2.5 against the Falcons.
And then my final pick, also in the NFL. And it's regional. I just think Jacksonville, I don't think their team likes their coach. I don't think their team respects their coach. Their team hasn't won forever. And the Titans are only having to give away 4.5. Now, I know they're the road team, but 4.5? Trevor Lawrence and all, or Urban Meyer had this embarrassment this week. And the Titans have to do their deal. I like the Titans big in this. I think the Titans absolutely minus 4.5 over Jacksonville. It's a lock.
Okay, I as a Titans fan, I like that a lot. I hope you're right. My last one is Dolphins plus 10 in Tampa, Super Bowl champs in Tampa. But there's two kinds of people, Dave. People are Dolph in or Dolph out, and I'm Dolph in. I'm Dolph in, but the only thing that draws me back is they have two offensive coordinators, and a lot like quarterbacks, you know what they say: if you have two offensive coordinators, you don't have any. You don't have any. But I'm still sticking with the Dolphins, though. I like plus 10's a lot of points in Tampa.
Whoever calls the plays, that's the offensive coordinator. Penny Hardaway to join us. And he should be coming your way here momentarily. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Conway. Conway services heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, the tune-ups. And you know that 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up is so important. It saves you money in the long run, and your system will last longer if you keep it efficient. And for $69, that 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system is so easy to do. And they include a complete safety inspection using their state-of-the-art camera system, making sure everything is safe. And then they'll do a carbon monoxide test. I know you'll breathe a whole lot easier if you have that peace of mind when you go, okay, my system is efficient, saving money, but most importantly, it's safe. No carbon monoxide leaks. Everybody's good. All you got to do is call 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. So I know yesterday the Tigers had a bit of a scrimmage, and I know they got Memphis Madness coming, by the way, and was reminded that they will have $5 tickets available here soon. This is next Wednesday. Remember the 13th. They'll have the $5 tickets coming your way, and on top of that, there is no vaccination yet needed. So don't forget about Memphis Madness. So apparently it is really fun to watch the Tigers practice. We still await Penny Hardaway. You might want to just keep trying his number until we get through to him. But in talking to some people who watched the scrimmage yesterday, it is a fun thing to watch. You've got on one side Larry Brown with his group, because they play scrimmages at the end of the practice. They do shooting drills. They do all kind of drills, and they go over sets and things of that nature. At the end, they have referees, and they are doing scrimmages. And you got on one side Larry Brown, and he's doing a lot of the SMU stuff. On the other side, you've got Penny, and he's doing his stuff, and it's supposed to be incredible. I don't know how Penny is going to get to 9 or 10 guys. That's what he says. 9 or 10 guys. But this team, even yesterday, I understand, either in the drills or in the scrimmage, Tyler Harris went off. Now, Tyler Harris, if I'm looking at this as a walk-on, right, he's like 15, 16 on your roster. How are you going to settle on 9 or 10 guys? That'll be absolutely interesting to see. There's going to be, I think, a lot more space and pace on this team. We'll get our first real sense of it, as we said on Wednesday. And Earl Timberlake apparently looks fantastic. We'll have to check on his health if we do get with Penny. But I have been assured that he, first of all, looks like an NBA player. He looks the part, and that he played nicely in the scrimmage yesterday. So that will be it's just going to be a fun year. There's just no way around it. This is going to be an exceptionally fun year. I think we're having a hard time getting through to Penny, huh? It happens. If we don't get him today, we'll get him another time for sure. But it all begins. We all get to see it. Some of you were already there for that first little open practice that they had in Pro Day, and the Rebounders had a thing. You've seen it already, but we'll all get to look for it. And I should remind everybody, Wednesday nights at Memphis Madness, you'll get to see this whole basketball team. I think you get to see the first time the Katrina Merriweather Memphis women, and I hear they are much improved, so that will be a lot of fun. In the Tigers game with Tulsa, we've spoken a little bit about that over the last couple of days, but, you know, people look up and they see the Tigers are actually underdogs in this game. Tulsa is a really it's tough to figure them out. Now, this is a team that had Oklahoma State beat, except for a special teams kickoff return, and they played Ohio State into the middle of the fourth quarter. It was a one-touchdown game. Then they got rolled by Houston last night, just absolutely rolled by Houston. So I don't know which team shows up, but the Tigers are 3.5-point underdogs in this game, and that has surprised a whole bunch of people. It's going to come down to turnovers for sure will be one of the keys, because when you look at it, Memphis makes turnovers, and Tulsa one of the better teams in the country at forcing turnovers. Penny Hardaway does join us now. Coach, how are you doing today? How was your scrimmage yesterday? And here's the biggest question. With all that talent, how are you going to get down to 9 or 10 guys, which is what you say your rotations are going to be? Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah, good morning, Dave. Yeah, I apologize for being a little late. I was actually ready and then got on another call. And anyway, good morning.
Yeah.
Secondly, the scrimmage went great because the guys are competing. Guys understand that there's a lot of talent on the team and that it's going to be scarce minutes or spot minutes for a lot of guys, and there's going to be some big minutes for a majority of the guys. And how we get to 9 people is they dictate that. In the past, I've allowed guys to try to make room for guys to play, to try to get it out of them in the games, and they really weren't giving it to me fully in practice. And that's the one thing that I feel like I've really messed up on as a coach. You have to stick to your guns on culture and the team, the players that buy into the culture, that play the right way on both sides of the ball, and are doing what we ask are the players that are going to play. The kids that aren't buying into that or just aren't good enough yet, we will keep working with them until they're ready. But the top 9 guys are going to play no matter how that falls. They're going to play.
Who, in your mind, based on your practices so far, are the most ready players?
Well, obviously, you're going to talk about your veterans, the guys that know the system already, that don't have to really work as hard. You got the returners, Jaden, Landers, Alo, Malcolm, Lester. You got those guys that are from last year that are here. Tyler's coming back for his, third year, in his fourth year is playing, but his third year with the team. So those guys kind of know the system, but that doesn't mean that the young guys aren't battling every day and getting better at what we're teaching.
You I know, are using Imani Bates as the point guard, or as one of your point guards. How is that experiment working out?
The experiment is working out great because right away Alex Lomax and Tyler Harris started pressing him 94 feet. And that's what he needed. He needed the pressure. He needed to feel the real game-like situations. They're not letting him bring the ball up easy. In the first couple of weeks, he struggled. And then now, being here for almost a month, you can tell that he's handling the position much better. He's a playmaker that can score. Scoring is really who he is. But he's showing a lot of playmaking ability, and the guys are making each other better because Tyler and Alex are picking him up 94 feet. But he has vision at 6'8", man, and can find people, and he understands his read, so he's doing really well.
How about Earl Timberlake? What is his health like?
Earl is finally back on the floor. He just finished his 4th practice since he's been here since June. He had neck problems when he got here. He tried to practice through it and just couldn't take the pain and ended up getting surgery and had to sit out another couple months. And in his 3rd practice in a couple weeks, in his 5th practice overall for 6 months, he's doing phenomenal. He's a heart and soul of the defense, hard-nosed, can play 1 through 5 defensively, and is an unbelievable playmaker as well.
It sounds like with all these guys that you pretty much, Timberlake, Quinones, Bates, Lomax, obviously, Harris, they could all play point guard for you. Are you really sort of going positionless? Is that your ultimate goal?
Well, that's how we've always been. We've said we've started a point. When you started Alo, you started Boogie, or you started Damian Boss.
Right.
But really, everything has always been positionless. And with our offense, and we play out the way we play out a concept, it makes it easier for us not to have that traditional point guard.
I think in the NIT run, you were using DeAndre Williams almost as a point forward on a bunch of sets.
Yeah, and you still can do that because there's no 5-man. When we had him at the 5, there's no 5-man that can stay in front of him. So why not give the ball to him and allow him to make plays?
Who's the guy that's blown you away the most so far in these practices?
I'd have to say collectively the freshmen because they are competing. I can't just say one guy. Obviously, I didn't know Josh Minot. I didn't know John Camden. I didn't know Big Sam Onu. I knew everyone else. But to see how John competes, to see how Josh Minot is a superstar, and Big Sam is probably the furthest behind because he came in out of shape, but you can see his potential and what he's going to bring to the table. I already knew Jonathan Lawson. I knew that he was just a pure basketball player. I knew Imani Bates. I knew Jalen Duran. But those freshmen competing against these veterans, and these veterans will tell you, they're not afraid. And they're playing the game at a very high level.
How about Chandler Lawson? We learned he's got this mammoth wingspan that is freakish.
Yeah, Chandler, I've had him since 9th grade at East High School. And he's the kid that's always going to affect the game with his energy and his hustle. That's just what he does, and he does whatever he's asked to do. There's a lot of competition on his team, and there's a lot of long guys just like Chandler on this team, but Chandler is the kid that I know that I can rely on to go out there and do everything that I need him to do.
Coach, has the buy-in been good? You got so many superstar guys. So many are considered to be NBA prospects, and you only got one ball. What is that dynamic like with the chemistry?
Well, the one thing I can tell you for sure is the buy-in doesn't happen until adversity hits.
Yeah.
It just is. There's not going to be any buy-in. The buy-in, yeah, everybody's happy now. There's no playing time. There are no starters established or anything. There hasn't been a game. So everybody's happy. Everybody's buying in. It's when the first game starts and a guy doesn't think he got enough minutes, or he thought he should have been a starter and didn't start, or he wasn't playing well and there's so much talent that he gets lost in the rotation. It's just one of those years this year, man, where you got to, whatever you kill, you eat, meaning like you got to go out there and earn every single minute you're going to get. Nothing's going to be given this year.
How about your whole philosophy? I know you're still going positionless, but I'm told it's more up-tempo even than it has been, more space and pace. Is your style any different than it's been?
Well, yeah, we've always played tried to play a fast pace. We were the sixth fastest pace offensively last year in the country, so that's not slow. But now we look more like the number one pace team in the country while trying to be the number one defensive team in the country. And that's very tough to do because most great defenses walk the ball up. They don't run both ways. And, they sprint back on D, but they don't run on O. So we're trying to do something that hasn't been done in a while. I don't know the last team that led the country in defense, field goal percentage, and was the fastest pace. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're much faster now than what we were. We're trying to get up and down the floor.
Your average length is 6'8", from what I understand, and I'm not taking in wingspan at all in this. Would you play some just gigantic zones sometimes?
Absolutely. We have an opportunity to mix up the lineups, play some zone, to be very long. You know, one of our biggest charts is deflection. We have that on our chart, one of our categories, and that's just because we have so much length. We're supposed to get our hands on a ton of balls that teams can't be able to see properly, the way we contest shots, the way we get deflection. So, yeah, we'll play some zone for sure.
All right, tell me about the dynamic of the coaching staff, too. I understand yesterday it was really cool in your little scrimmages. You're on one side coaching, and then there's Larry Brown running SMU stuff on the other side. I mean, this has to be a lot of fun. What's the roles like with your coaches?
Well, obviously, when you go with the veteran, Coach Brown, his role is whatever we need it to be. He's just bringing a wealth of knowledge. He's a guy that he's seen so much basketball, coached so much basketball, played basketball at a high level. So he knows it on every level when it comes from being a player and a coach. And he's just very knowledgeable. So whatever he wants to do, whatever he brings, he has a ton of suggestions at all times. And I'm always talking to him about different things, and we're going to allow him to be himself. Rashid is the energy. He's the guy that's going to be full energy. That's what he talks about all the time. And he's one of the most positive guys that I've ever been around when it comes to being a complete team, playing for the person next to you, doing everything together, sharing the basketball, moving the basketball from side to side, and obviously championship defense. And then Cody is kind of like the brains. He's the analytics guy of the team. He's the organizer. He's the guy that knows offense like no other. And he brings his brilliance to the game. And he's also a drills guy. He's a development guy on the floor.
Can't wait to see it all come together. I know you've got Wednesday night. What will we see Wednesday night, Memphis Madness?
Well, I mean, just really to just get the team introduced. And that's all that really matters. I think the team really is ready to see the fans. The fans are ready to see the team. And that, to me, is enough. Whatever happens after that with the festivities of the dunk contest, the three-point contest, skills challenge, and maybe a small scrimmage is the icing on the cake. But really, that night, to me, is for the kids to be introduced and the energy that they're going to have in the building just being introduced.
Who's the entertainment, Penny? Leak it out right here, right now. Come on.
I can't do that, Dave.
Oh,
you
Penny.
Can't spoil the kids' night. You can't spoil the kids' night, Dave.
All right. I'll have to come and see. Penny, can't wait for this year. I really can't. This is going to be so much fun. You have worked your tail off to get these guys. You're still working your tail off. You're recruiting the next classes too. And I know the future is going to be just a lot of fun for all of Memphis.
Yeah, it will be. The fans will see a total difference in this year's team. It's going to be a special year, and we're excited for it as well, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you on Wednesday. That is
okay.
Penny Hardaway. There's nobody like him, I know. Penny Hardaway, a unique and, wow, what he has done to put this team together is terrific. In the meantime, I know we are late for a break. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Old Dominic, proud hometown partner of your Tigers, by the way, located in the heart of downtown. Old Dominic offers full distillery tours, curated tastings, and craft cocktails. They got a bar in there that is really a cool place to go. If you're looking for something different, even late at night, Old Dominic, right there on Front Street, is the place to go. You can ask your Memphis spirit shop, your favorite spirit shop, where you can find Old Dominic products. They're great for tailgating, I can tell you that, wherever you may be going, high school football tonight or anywhere else. Share a sip of pure Memphis this season. Old Dominic, and they encourage all football fans to share a sip responsibly. We take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll talk high school football. Glenn Rogers Jr. will chat with us in just a minute.
Hey, this is former Tiger Gabe Kuhn. Check out my new show, Sports Time, with Brett Norsworthy. Make sure you join Stats and I every single afternoon from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. As we all know, Memphis can be a hotbed for severe weather, and that weather can play havoc on our roofs. Most people don't know what they should do first when they're concerned about the condition of their roof. Call their insurance company, call a contractor, or trust a door-to-door salesman that's making claims that are hard to believe. My advice would be call the contractor that you know and trust. If you don't know any, research your local contractors and give 2 or 3 a call. I hope your research will lead you to us. Have your roof inspected, decide for yourself what you should do and whether or not you should file a claim with your insurance company. It's your home, it's your policy, and it's your money. Don't let anyone pressure you into anything. If you give Five Ash Roofing a call, we promise personal service with a member of our family with no pressure and no hype. Five Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Don't mind me, just sneaking out to go to Kohl's. The home deals right now, they're too good to pass up. Like up to 40% off Cuddle Ned's bedding, up to 50% off the cutest fall decor, and up to 25% off Ninja kitchen appliances. How can I resist? You can even get 15% off or 15, 20, or 30% off with a Kohl's card. So yeah, I'm going all in for fall, and I can't even wait. Select styles. Offers end October 17th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Looking for some action? Sports gambling is legal in Tennessee. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Go to Action247.com. Register and place your bets. Are you a sharp or a first-time bettor? Action 24/7 has you covered. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action 24/7. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studio. I'm going to Family Leisure as soon as this is over. I'm almost out of chlorine again. They got chlorine. You know there's been a chlorine shortage. They got everything there. And they have the Relax at Home sale going on right now. This is a great thing. I love this. You relax at home. Weather gets a little cooler. You invite the family. You invite your friends. Come on over, play some pool. How about shuffleboard? Maybe you want to relieve aching muscles. You go with the full-body massage chairs, which are really cool. Chill out. You can watch a movie or that big game. Like Memphis and Tulsa, late tomorrow night, you'd really love a theater chair for that, wouldn't you? They got the latest, the greatest, also sales on spas and saunas and some patio furniture, too. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Wooden Road. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together. We got high school football tonight. We had high school football last night. Glenn Rogers Jr. joins us now. And, Coach, Collierville is a heck of a story. Joe Riccone is doing a heck of a job. I think I might be repeating myself because we talked about this, but they had another big win against a rival. That was Houston last night. And they look good again. They just don't give up points, and they're 8-0. Is that the story of the year?
Oh, well, good morning, Dave, to you and the listeners. And, I think Dave, like you said, that's one of the stories of the year. Also, Brian Stewart out of Briarcrest doing an excellent job. He's undefeated. And then, I've been talking all year about Gene Robinson. I think he's one of the best young coaches in the country. So we got a few stories that could be stories of the year for this high school season because we got a lot of teams, a lot of parity, post. Well, we're still in COVID-19 protocol, but a lot of great high school football is being played, given that a lot of these teams have been off for a full year. Almost a year and a half.
You mentioned the Briarcrest team, 7-0. They've got Pure at home. That looks like it could be a runaway for Briarcrest. And what makes Briarcrest so good? I know coaching, and you mentioned Coach Stewart, but who are the guys like Max Carroll? I know he's a terrific receiver. What makes them work?
Well, I think, Dave, you start with Brian, the head coach, and then his staff. He's got an outstanding staff, offensively and defensively. And then, like you said, Dave, the players. Us as coaches, we can't do anything without these players. And so when you got a guy like Max Carroll, the quarterback, you got Miller, Aubrey Miller back there running the football. And then you got Max's older brother who's back there tailback. He's a tailback, then he rotates in at linebacker. So you've got a lot of good pieces to this team. And then, like I said, you throw in the coaching staff with the schemes and the way they let these kids go and play. It's just wonderful watching these guys. We played them last week when they had a tough loss, but I tell you, it was a fun game and exciting. And you can just tell Coach Stewart has got the program headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll tell you the other guy that always gets every program he's coached in the right direction, and that is Major Wright. And he's not lost at Central. I don't think he's going to lose this week with Overton. With his son at quarterback, they have outscored their opponents so far in the 6 games they've played by a total score of 276 to 105. That's amazing.
That is amazing, and credit to his defensive staff. And like you said, Dave, everywhere Major goes, White Station, Briarcrest, and then now at Central, that program has turned around immensely. And hats off to him and his staff. And like you said, his son-in-law is at quarterback, and I'm sure he's getting an earful at home. About the game. Major was like me, a coach's son, and so I'm sure Law is getting an earful on the way to school and on the way home from practice. So that makes it more exciting for a young man like him. That's you under the tutelage of your dad as starting quarterback.
How about that kid, though? Didn't he, compete in the state golf tournament and play well, on Thursday, and then Friday was quarterback in the football team? That's amazing.
It is amazing, David. It's funny you said it. We have so many guys that play other sports, Maurice Hampton and the Shaw brothers, both Sellers and Edwin. So it's fun to see these guys embrace high school and do multiple sports. It's just a fun thing to see with these high school athletes.
You mentioned Germantown and Gene Robinson, and they're 5-2. They're at Arlington, which is normally a tough place to play, but Arlington seems down this year, 2-5, and have not won a district game yet.
Well, Arlington is getting adjusted to a new coaching staff. Anytime you have change at the head job, Dave, at these programs, there's going to be some adjustments, and so they're going through some lean adjustments right now. I think Gene Robinson will get them tonight. Gene's coming off a tough loss at Collierville, and so I'm sure he has got his team and his staff had those guys primed and ready to go this week because Arlington is a tough place to go and win a ball game.
One of the other great games this week are 2 teams that we have not talked much about, both on the more southern side of the city. I'm talking Mitchell, which is 4-1. They've only played 5 games. Fairleigh has played 8 games and lost only once. They are 7-1. Tell me about those teams, Glenn Rogers.
Well, Mitchell, normally a lot of people associate Mitchell as a basketball school, but the football program is doing well. I'm sure they probably either forfeited. I've had some games forfeited or canceled due to COVID-19. And, what a story with family. Gene Robinson leaves. They had that program rolling, and then now they're right back up in the mix. It's just a wonderful thing, Dave, to see these two old school programs, long-time programs, on the rise and doing well with these young coaches and their players buying in.
Speaking of old school, I'm really happy to see Melrose. Melrose is getting back into the fold. They're 500. They take on Wooddale at home tonight, and Melrose is even at 3-3 on the year. They are perfect in 8-4A. They've only played 2 games. They're 2-0. Are they back?
Yeah, I think Sad Wilson, former Melrose alum and UT and Pittsburgh Steelers, Super Bowl champion, has got those guys headed in the right direction. He's got an excellent quarterback. He's got a couple of big linemen up front. And he's taking on a Wooddale team, Dave, that's formidable. I mean, they the last few years, they've been on the rise. John Bush, one of my former Tiger teammates, is the principal over there. And they have an outstanding coach. And so this is going to be a tough out for Sid. And, I'm going to get a nod to Wooddale. I think Wooddale will get Melrose tonight.
Wow.
I think it won't be an upset. I think Wooddale is very formidable. And they have some good players, just a good staff over there as well.
Whitehaven, White Station, the Haven 4-3. That's a down year for them. And they're even in their district 8-6A at 2-2, but so is White Station. They're 3-4 on the year. White Station always plays about as difficult a schedule as you can get. How do you break this one down?
Yeah, I guarantee if you talk to Coach Salisbury and anybody on their staff, 4-3 is just unacceptable in Whitehaven. I'm pretty sure they're feeling like us. A lot of games they feel like they should have won, and so they'll go into this game, I think, ready to go. White Station with the great quarterback, the guy leading, behind the offense is an athlete. But I guarantee Rodney Salisbury will have his defensive staff ready to go to shut him down. And offensively, I think Rodney and them is probably torching things on offense because from what I've been hearing, the offense has been struggling, and that's why they've been having tough times winning ball games.
Last game, and that is Cordova at Bartlett. Cordova, a team that has really been pretty consistent the last 5 to 10 years, is 1-6 this year. What has happened at Cordova? And Bartlett remains a pretty solid program.
Well, it's one of those things, Dave. COVID-19, Cordova didn't play. So I'm sure Coach Wimmer probably lost some guys. And Bartlett gained a lot of guys. Bartlett, Arlington, a lot of schools that played last year gained a lot of guys, and Bartlett was one of them. And so Coach Wimmer, I'm sure, is disappointed and having a disappointing season. But this is going to be a tough out tonight. Bartlett is, their head coach has been there now 3 years, and made it all the way to the state championship game last year and lost it. So I know he lost some guys on his staff. His brother and a couple of coaches, defensive coaches, left, moved back to Alabama. But I think Bartlett still has enough in the house to take care of business tonight against their opponent.
And you mentioned a couple of times now COVID, and we know all the public schools were behind the 8 ball with that because they lost a senior class and they lost a year of experience and development. So that is tough. But the only team that I really see, we mentioned this, was Mitchell with the 4-1 record. For the most part, we have done a heck of a job, high school sports have, you guys, you coaches, with dealing with it because for the most part, this season has gone on beautifully.
Yeah, it has, Dave. And, like you said, with the pandemic, you have to have certain protocols in place. You got to check temperatures. You got to make sure guys are spread out in the locker room. And then when they go on road trips, the buses have to be spread out. We got our parents have been taking our kids to games these last 2 seasons. And so you got to do a lot of things to keep kids safe, to make sure the parents can trust you to keep their children safe, along with the cheerleaders at schools. And so it's been a tough 2 years on all these coaching staffs. And my hat goes off to a lot of these city coaches who had almost 2 years off, hardly any contact with their team. And then, for a school like Germantown to come out fine on all cylinders, just hats off to Gene Robinson and his staff and his administration because Dave, it's been a tough 2 years just dealing with the pandemic and dealing with all the rules and all the laws you got that's been put in place to keep everyone safe and at a social distance.
Yeah. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Christian Brothers, I know, is off. I'm assuming you're off this weekend too.
Yeah, we're on fall break, and Christian Brothers on fall break. We got a big showdown next week at our place, and Dave, I really enjoyed the interview with Penny Hardaway, Larry Brown, and Rasheed Wallace. Just big things for the Tigers basketball program. All of us are so excited. A lot of former Tigers we're talking about it, and I'm just so excited to see Penny get the ball bouncing and see what our basketball team can do this year, because I think we got a chance to really do some damage and go a long way in the tournament.
Me too. And I'm excited about the Brothers and the Owls, and we'll talk about that next week. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you very much. And go Tigers go this week.
There we go. That is Glenn Rogers Jr., our coach on high school football. He's brought to you by Miramichi. What a great weekend it's going to be to get out there and play. Weather's going to be, perfect. You can't beat it. And the conditions, that's the beauty of fall golf, folks. Weather gets a little bit nicer, and as it gets cooler, the conditions of the golf course, unlike spring, are plush. Plush. Please go out there. Even on the weekend, you can play for as low as $49 Saturday and Sunday. Today, if you were to get out, $44, including golf cart and complimentary range balls, and the best practice facility area of any public golf course anywhere. I don't see any place better. They've got sand traps to practice out of, the biggest putting green you ever saw, and incredible driving range with as many balls as you care to hit. And then you can go play this incredible 7,400 yards of championship golf surrounded by 330 acres of beauty. And I mean it. And then afterwards, go up on the beautiful patio. And this is the weather to do it, and look out at the best view in Shelby County and a full-service bar with big screen TVs to watch all the all the football that you can. It's bad. It's great. It's Nirvana. Go check it out. You'll thank me later. That's Miramichi. When we come back, we talk to our agent in Chicago. That is Andy Schiffman. On the NBA and on the Grizzlies, am I, overexcited for these 2 wins that have been so good? Milwaukee didn't play their starters really last night. Charlotte did, but it's Charlotte. Let's see what Andy Schiffman has to say when we come back.
It's a new show with a new time, but Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane are back with Sports 56 Grind Time. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
The NFL is here, and FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every play. That's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every week. This week is a great opportunity to give it a try. All you have to do is bet a same-game parlay bet with 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet, so lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook and get up to $10 back if your bet doesn't win. New to FanDuel Sportsbook? Sign up today with promo code CASH to also receive a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code CASH so they know I sent you. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and on the web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Bellyacre's motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Daria or the Double Daria, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Bellyacres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Bellyacres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Bellyacres.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information.
Think you might have ED? ED is common, but the solution is simple. forhims.com.
I didn't have to talk to a doctor in person, and the medication was shipped right to my door.
Get access to doctors online who can prescribe you FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. The same active ingredient as name brands, but 90% cheaper. Rise to the occasion or your money back. Go to forhims.com/joy to get your first visit free. forhims.com/joy.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Obviously, Tigers in Tulsa. That's a late-night game tomorrow at 8, but man, are we busy on Sports 56 and 98.5 this weekend. It starts tomorrow morning early, 9 o'clock. That's when you can hear Brett Norsworthy, Stats, and all that crew. Ole Miss taking on Arkansas in that big game Sunday. Packers, Bengals, Browns, Chargers, Bills, and Chiefs, 12, 3, and 7. I mean, we're going crazy. And then Monday night, Colts at Ravens, and that's going to be a terrific football game. That will start at 7 o'clock right after we got a whole bunch of stuff. And don't forget our incredible lineup. This portion of the show brought to you by the Spirit Shop. You're on your way to a high school game tonight, on your way to a college football game tomorrow. You want to pick up some stuff. You got to reload with Spirits. The best place to do that is 4646 Poplar in St. Nick. You know the Spirit Shop. Eddie Connor's place, that little log cabin that's been there forever. It's right down from Clark Tower, Poplar in St. Nick, and you've passed it and you thought, well, it's a little tiny place. Go inside. You'll find so much product. From bargains to rare wines and bourbons, they've got it all. And Eddie Connor will give you an education, I promise you. If you want to learn about the spirits you're about to buy, he will tell you all about it. He and his family, the best service ever. Time to reload and stock up for the weekend. The only place to go is the Spirit Shop. Our friend Andy Schiffman joins us from Chicago. Of course, he's with Priority Sports and Entertainment. He is our agent, and I tell me if I'm crazy, but I get a little excited sometimes. I like what I see with these new Grizz. I like the way that Adams is fitting in. He's had double-doubles both times. Morant looks like he's ready to take over. Can you gain any kind of knowledge, really, with two exhibition games when, like, the Bucks didn't have their starters and Charlotte is Charlotte? What do you think?
Right. Well, first off, Dave, good to be back after a little bit of an off season.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't feel like much of an off season for me with the draft and free agency and everything that goes on in the NBA off season, but I'm with you. It's exciting not only to watch the Grizzlies, but as a basketball fan, it's just exciting to watch these preseason games and go home every night and just be glued to the TV watching my players and just games in general. It's encouraging to see the Grizzlies come out of the gate 2-0, but you hit the nail on the head. These preseason games really aren't focused to we have to beat our opponent and win. It's more about development and just kind of seeing what you have. So you got the Bucks, the Giannis-less Bucks. You had Gordon Hayward, our client, didn't play last night in Charlotte. And look, you said Charlotte, but hey, they were they were good last year, and they're going to keep making strides. So it was a nice win on the road. They weren't at full strength, but they're still a good team, obviously, with LaMelo and some nice pieces. They drafted James Bouknight with the 11th pick in this last draft, who's had a couple great first two preseason games. So it's encouraging to see the Grizzlies. I think it's great to see Jaren Jackson out there at full strength from what it seems. Steven Adams is going to be helpful for sure. I know a lot of Grizzlies fans probably miss Valanciunas and scratch their head at that deal, but Steven Adams could absolutely be a nice piece for them. And I would definitely be encouraged by watching DeAnthony Melton shoot the ball. I think he's going to have even a bigger role now as he's continued to have in the last few seasons. And I think he's shooting the ball at a really high rate, which is very encouraging to see because they're going to need that from him.
It's funny that you say that. First of all, Steven Adams, I think, is going to mesh a lot better than I thought. I was not really happy with that Valanciunas deal, but what I've seen so far, obviously 2 exhibition games, but I think the way he's going to mesh is going to be outstanding. And I'm glad you mentioned Melton because he's already hit in the 2 games 7 threes. He's like 7 of 11.
7 for 11.
The way he's playing and the way Bane is playing, if I were Dylan Brooks, I'd try to get healthy quickly because it seems like either one of those guys could play that role that he has played.
No, you're absolutely right. They're very versatile. In today's NBA, it's more on the wing position list. And so you could have either of those players step in right away and really not lose too much production off the bench. So it is encouraging, but they need everybody healthy because obviously when the season starts, all these teams will be throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the Grizzlies. You're not going to be facing a Bucks team without Giannis just because it's preseason and he's just sitting out to rest. I mean, they're all these teams, they're in it to win it from the get-go. So it's encouraging, and we'll see. I think the Grizzlies play again this weekend. Saturday, they got Atlanta at home, and Atlanta's another dangerous team. Here's the thing. Atlanta's 0-2 in preseason. Trae Young didn't play the last game. I'm not for 1 second concerned that they're going to start off struggling because of that. Again, it's just more about developing the players, the younger guys, the new rookies, new additions, et cetera, as opposed to putting your stars out there and letting them go. And even as we get into more into preseason, the last 1 or 2 exhibition games for some of these teams next week, Dave, you'll see players you never even heard of play the lion's share of the minutes before they get cut, and probably a lot of them sent to the G League as originally planned.
All right, last thing, and we've only got about a minute. The NBA fraud thing that came out yesterday, Tony Allen and his wife involved, although they've made payments back. It looks like it was coordinated by Terrence Williams, where players claimed they got medical services and money for it and didn't get it. Glenn Davis is a part of this, also CDR, Chris Douglas Roberts. What is your quick take on what you think will happen here?
Well, I think they're going to have to be held accountable. It's disappointing to see a lot of these players on this list, some who I know on a personal level, get into this situation. And I think it's a mix of probably making poor decisions sometimes with their money. Not all these guys, but sometimes with their money throughout their career to unfortunately be in this position. But look, I mean, this is illegal and it's a crime, so they're going to be held accountable. What do I think is going to happen? I don't know if there's going to be jail time or a massive fine.
Yeah.
It's not for me to say, but something will happen for sure.
They have to pay the money back. That's for sure. We already know that Tony and his wife have paid back a large portion of that money. I tend to think, and I could be wrong here. That's up to the judge in the. I think it's the Southern Second District or wherever this thing was done, which is a tough district. But you would think big fines, pay the money back, and maybe avoid jail time. We'll have to maybe not Terrence Williams because he was getting
some sort of probation or something
and everything
like that.
else. Yeah, I would suspect. Andy, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and I look forward to you being a part of Wolo and Friends for a long, long time to come.
Likewise, looking forward to it. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you next week.
You got it. That is our friend from now living in Chicago, Andy Schiffman from Priority Sports and Entertainment. We got to thank Penny Hardaway for coming on today. Always fun to chat with Penny. He's got me excited for sure. Don't forget Memphis Madness next Wednesday. Glenn Rogers Jr. and then Andy Schiffman. Tigers and Tulsa. I think it's going to be a heck of a game, but I think in the end, Memphis will finally finish. I think Memphis wins the game, and we'll talk about it on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Johnny Radio is next.